welcome back to another episode of AI Meets API. Today, our host, Ajay Konda, CGO of ProwessSoft, is joined by Julia Napolitano. Julia is a Vice President of Solution Engineering at MuleSoft. Julia solves customer challenges through innovative integration strategies and AI-driven solutions. Take it away, Ajay.
Hey Julia, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for taking time and joining this. I know you are a very busy schedule. Let me start from the beginning. What led you to your current role at Salesforce and MuleSoft?
Well, first, thanks, Ajay, for having me. Such a pleasure to be here today. Well, that story began a little bit ago. I was actually a Salesforce customer. So I came out of college, I was a marketing database analyst, and they said, we're implementing Salesforce. Go learn how to do it and go train. I was a marketer by trade. I was not in Salesforce technology. I wasn't an IT person, but I fell in love with the business user being able to use Salesforce. And so that evolved into a few different customer locations. I ran the GE Healthcare Salesforce program and my solution engineer at the time from Salesforce said, okay, enough is enough. Like, you got to come over here. You got to come over to the mothership, so to speak. And I couldn't pass it up. It was a great opportunity to become someone who could solve problems for my customers, which is what I love about solution engineering. The opportunity to get to know your customers, ideally be badged even, and be able to walk freely in the hall, so to speak, and really get to know what problems they have. And so that evolution really took me from a solution engineer through a distinguished solution engineer into leadership, where now I can really look across different industries and customers and see how we can go after the business metrics and outcomes we're looking for, and even more so in this very exciting, very fast-paced agentic world.
That's wonderful to know. One thing on top of both of our minds is Dreamforce, right? We just came out of Dreamforce and it was a fantastic event and got to experience a lot of new things. But I like to understand your experience and what you felt about Dreamforce. What are your key takeaways from Dreamforce?
Absolutely. So this was my 17th Dreamforce. It feels crazy to say that. I was a customer 4 times over, then 13 years at Salesforce, put that all together minus a few maternity leaves, and it was lucky number 17. So you can imagine the first few years, right? I could like literally sit next to Mark Benioff, and this year you can't even get into the keynote room. But what I loved about this year that was so different than many of my prior experiences was seeing, well, now I'm biased, but seeing MuleSoft at the center of innovation and really seeing how having that back end system situated, all those pipes working, getting your APIs to work for you, to be reusable, to be safe and secure, that's the foundation for everything we need to do in this agentic enterprise. And it was so exciting to see every aspect of the integration lifecycle represented and seeing how much that enables the agentic future. I'm obviously a very biased person for MuleSoft and Salesforce, but the innovation continues to keep up at a pace that's unbelievable. I'm still blown away as an employee of all these years. There's always something to learn. My team always has something that they don't know about. That's a gift. It's not a challenge, I don't think. I think that's a happy opportunity. And Dreamforce really highlighted that this company is dedicated to innovation. And we continue to come up with the latest and greatest. We may announce it a little bit earlier than it's perfectly ready for, but that's part of the fun, is trying it and seeing it, experiencing it, and being part of that future of innovation. So it was a great week. Hope everyone will come and join us next year. I know you were there too, Ajay.
Yeah, I was there. I was quite blown away by some of the new features MuleSoft has released. We will talk about that and some of those things in this podcast. Before getting into technology side, I'd like to understand from your role point of view, right? You have been a leader from a solution engineering and MuleSoft. And as a leader, you might have to make a lot of decisions over the years, and especially last few years, right? Once the AI wave started, and people has to make very, very new decisions, new ways of doing things. From your role point of view and organization point of view, what are some of those key decisions? How does that turned out to be good and bad over the last few years?
Absolutely. So there's a few things. I'll start with one of my mantras: fail fast. Fail hard. I'd rather have a team and an organization that can go after something, try it, learn, and pivot quickly. And I think that is one of our superpowers, is the ability to make change rapidly and to move the entire organization into that change. One of those is AI. I mean, I think we've all lived through so many iterations of disruption in the internet era in the 99, right, with the explosion into 2000. So now we have to think about new ways of working. And in solution engineering in particular, we're not only thinking about how our customers need to solve their problems, but we need to think differently about how we show that, how we demonstrate that value and that experience for them in use cases. So I'll just take a very simple example. One of a solution engineer's most important aspects is demo building. We want to be able to demonstrate and show the technology and make that resonate to the customer and bring their use cases to life. AI is a huge enabler of that. It's a fast-paced opportunity for us to really build a use case that's specific and unique to that organization. So AI has allowed us to move faster and helps us to better articulate the use cases for our customers. Now, that doesn't come overnight. It comes with learning about prompt building, and it comes with learning how to make our tools inherently agentic or leveraging external tools. I know my team right now, they are using Cursor and Claude and Granola AI and probably 1,000 other applications. And so I think we also have to be comfortable with trying and making what we do each and every day that much easier. So I mentioned my first mantra is fail fast.
Fail fast.
Second one that I'll share is use it. Just use it. You have to start. The first step in anything is just trying and taking that step. I'll be the first one to say I started using ChatGPT personally before I really embedded it into my professional life. It was the thing I used to write a birthday party announcement for my kids. It was the thing that I used to help meal plan for a week where I didn't want to cook dinner every night. And now at work, it's how we can think about a demo script and bringing that to life and up-leveling that whole story for our customers. Those are just some simple examples, but it takes using it. And we cannot be afraid to use it. We need to be excited to use it. And whatever that next it is, be excited for that next one too.
Oh, that's great to hear. Sure, we need to get out of that inertia mode. I hear a lot about this Salesforce on Salesforce. I've seen some of the demos also. Is this demo building and other use cases you're talking about is part of that, or is it different?
That's a great example of how we do leverage AI in our tool set to demonstrate how we use Salesforce internally. Just to give a little context, so Salesforce on Salesforce gives anyone the ability to understand how Salesforce runs using our own technology. One could say it's how we drink our own champagne, or the lesser attractive version of that, eat our own dog food. It's a great way of saying we run on Salesforce, we run on MuleSoft, we run on Tableau and Slack. This is how we do business. AI has been a huge component of how we can go faster running our own business with our own technology. So demo building is definitely one of those aspects. I would also say RFP responses with AI has been huge, right? We built our own RFP engines that's embedded into Salesforce. We have it integrated to knowledge bases through MuleSoft. All of that really comes to life when you think about how AI can make all of those things go faster. Agent RFPs, multi-agents, that's definitely where we're seeing the future go to. And we're the first ones to try it all out. So that is really where Salesforce comes to be and is a huge superpower of our own, is we use everything we sell. We use it all day, every day. We try it out ourselves, and we're the first people to try those agentic experiences within our own software. And then we can continue to iterate on those. And I'll break for a small second on my team, but when we were first getting into the AI motion, our team built a MuleSoft accelerator that was specific to agent creation and building AI generated agents in a really exciting way. And it was through solution engineering, through the ability to actually make product happen and make it work, but all through a solution engineering mindset. So we really do leverage the ability to use our own technology whenever humanly possible. And even if that means leveraging AI to make us go faster.
Definitely. One thing I'm curious about, Julia, especially from a technology organization like yours, there's two key pillars, right? One is the product team Another one is the solution team. How does the feedback loop works? Because you guys are the one on the field, talk to the customers on the new things, and product is the one who builds these things. How does usually this feedback loop works, and how is it different at MuleSoft?
Such a great call out, and something that I see come to life every day in MuleSoft, even more so than I think I saw in Proximity in the Salesforce part of the business. The MuleSoft product and solutions team are in lockstep. And I think the relationship and the strength that our product team has built with us is exceptional. I feel honestly very blessed to have that level of partnership and have the opportunity to really think through their lens and have them think through ours. And I almost feel like we're extensions of each other. We're like two peas in a pod. We are the closest to the field. We're absolutely the ones front and center with the customer, but I will say our product team does a really good job of being close to the field and understanding directly. But we, again, use our own technology. So we have a Slack channel for any feedback from the field. We have a Slack channel for the product team to give us feedback from what they're hearing and vice versa. And it's very active, very collaborative. And whether it's a Slack team, a Slack group, a Slack channel, you name it, we use our own technology to help us facilitate keeping us really close together. Another shout out I'll say is they give us sneak previews of what's coming next, sneak peeks. And that is always, talk about winning the hearts and minds of solution engineers. Give us a little tease of what's coming up. Let us see it, maybe even giving you some feedback. That helps us tremendously. And then likewise, we always want to share that feedback back to our product teams, both the good and the bad. We have to obviously share when there are challenges or where there are gaps. We have an entire mechanism that we do about reviewing potential gaps in the product. When our customers are seeing challenges or gaps, maybe scale, for example, oftentimes that's an easy example where we get feedback from customers. And we'll provide that back to our product teams. But equally so, we want them to hear the good stuff. Who's using what? What do they like? When is it being, a huge win for us? And then ultimately sharing those stories broader.
Sounds good. Being a solution engineering leader, it's one of the biggest challenge is selecting the right folks, right people, right? Because you get to have just like product team or solution team, you get to have very small team, lean team, but all has to be like a F1 type of people. What is your principles or things you follow when trying to select a talent for these solution teams?
It's one of my favorite topics, if I'm being honest. I love thinking about the mix of a solutions team. And I'll use one of my dear old friends always said, find your Avengers. It's a great analogy for a solution engineering team. You can't all be Iron Men, you can't all be Hulks, but you need that balance of having all the different personas of the Avengers in the solution form. So I really look for where we can complement one another. I do truly believe in a diverse team. I think that's where you get your most innovative and creative work. And the things that hold true across all the Avengers and all the solution engineers are our values. And in particular, I look for people who want to work hard, but they're willing to play hard as well, right? That they are going to give it their all, but they're also going to participate in the other stuff, right? Not just the demo, but also the community and sharing assets across teams. So I look for that passion meets that grit. Like, let's get it done no matter what, but we're going to do it as a team. We're going to do it together, and we're going to hopefully have some fun along the way. We spend a lot of time in these jobs, so the more fun we can have with each other to get to this output, the better. And then I'm always looking for learners, lifelong learners, natural curiosity. Solution engineers are built by asking questions. My poor family knows this. I ask them questions. I do discovery all the time. I'm an SE all day, every day, as a mom and as a solution engineering leader. You have to want to know. You have to want to try the next thing, learn the new innovation, and really be on a quest for always learning. And back to another mantra of mine that my entire team can tell you, always better, never best. We are always challenging ourselves to learn more, to grow, to be better, to learn from one another, and to strive for the next best, which is obviously changing. We didn't know about AI how many years ago. We would never have thought we were going to have the conversations we're having now. But the spirit and the drive in this craft needs someone who's going to be excited to learn, excited to invest in what is new and what's coming next. So that natural curiosity and that lifelong learner is an absolute must in all my Avengers on the team.
That's fantastic. I can definitely see that from the interactions I had with your team.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I want you to see that and feel those differences and those shared values.
Definitely. I have two more things to talk about you. One, I talk about your team and role. Second one, I want to understand about the business domains. Some of the which business domains you are more focused on. One, I know high tech, and other one is a CDS. I think so. So, how are you seeing the trends in the business domains with respect to adoption of these new technologies? What are you hearing from the field?
So I have the privilege of actually covering quite a few different industries within our MuleSoft practice. I have our accelerated business, so our high tech, telecom, media, and then our consumer business services. And then I go to another side of the house and I get to see manufacturing, consumer goods, retail, and they're very different. And I'm sharing that because the nuances are so unique between the two. In high tech, we're seeing really fast adoption of AI, agent sprawl, questions from CIOs around governance and security, and what side of this coin do I want to be on? Do I want to prohibit the growth of my agents, or do I want to embrace and let them all flourish? And the adoption is just so fast, which is very different than some of my other industries like manufacturing, where they're not ready for agent and multi-agent orchestration. They're still making sure that they have the connection points between their back office and Salesforce, for example. SAP and Salesforce, one of our most common integration points. I also think, especially in our manufacturing domains, where I see in back office is supply chain. Supply chain is probably one of the areas we're seeing the growth in that manufacturing industry the most, around how to leverage agents to make a faster, smarter supply chain actually go through and provide higher quality, better outcomes, greater efficiency, and of course ROI. So that is by far an area of focus for us is in the supply chain domain. In high tech, it's far more around getting those all the agents in a governed, secured manner, and that's where we see a lot of the focus right now. For the other industries, I would say in retail, I have quite a big background in retail, and so it's fun to see agents come to life in the consumer world. So that's where we're really seeing the front end experience meets kind of Salesforce, Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Data Cloud, plus MuleSoft for agent orchestration inside and outside of Salesforce, because that's where you're really going to need to make the consumer experience come to life. You want their online experience plus the POS plus the shipping update that you're looking for, and then the action you want your agent to take. We need to see all of that happen in an orchestrated, secure fashion. So retail is still first and foremost that consumer experience, but how do we make the back end look seamless? And how do we make sure that the agents are doing everything they need to do to facilitate the request of the consumer? So I think those are some of the highlights that I'm seeing kind of across the different industries. But I will tell you, I hear a new story each day. And that's part of the fun. So, our hotels, for example, are looking at how they can improve the stay experience for someone at a hotel. And if they have a concern or a question, or they have Marriott Bonvoy status like I do, I want to know what's the plan when I arrive. So there's no shortage of use cases. The domains are bigger and broader than ever, but getting to the specifics of the use case is what matters most for us solution engineers, and making sure that we can really understand what's unique when you're applying an agent as opposed to just an integration or some data flow that you need to go do. What actions are we trying to drive so we can get the outcomes for our customers and their customers?
That sounds good. I think that aligns with my understanding too. Thanks for sharing that. Now I want to understand more on the technology side of it. So you have seen integration evolve quite a bit. What are the biggest shifts you noticed and the trends you especially excited about right now?
Well, I think the big thing that I'm seeing is integration be exciting again. It's the
Mhm.
pipes of the house. It's the back end that makes it all work, and it's now at the front end to make AI work. And we actually have a presentation that we call the deja vu deck.
Mhm.
It's Groundhog Day, it's deja vu. It's actually the things that we've been talking about over the years, but bringing it to life in a different capacity. So I think this is the time when composability and API architecture, it's never been more important than now. You want to be able to create all those reusable APIs, be able to put an MCP server on top of them, like wear a little hat on top of the API, and then connect them to do multi-agent orchestration. If you don't have the APIs that are able to do all of those steps and processes, you're going to be behind the AI train. And so it's really exciting to see kind of the bread and butter of integration be the unlock for the future of AI, and see how important getting the foundation of your house built, it's more important than ever. And, there are folks, I am so fortunate and blessed to have such an unbelievably talented and brilliant team. These are people that have been in the integration space for over 20 plus years. They know integration inside and out. And we're learning from them and seeing how the pipes they've built over the years, that's what will enable the businesses to go faster in AI now than ever before. It's not just how fast you can build an agent. It's how fast you can make the agent smart, how fast you can make the agent efficient, how fast you can make the agent do the right actions at the right time with the right data and the right, fill in the blank. And that all happens with good integration. It happens with your APIs and your pipes being put in the right place at the right time. So it is really exciting. And I think we all look at the shiny objects of AI and oftentimes forget what enables it behind the scenes. And that's us. We're back there. We're back there making it all work. And that's what's so critical for companies. Don't shortchange the back. You got to get that right so that you can move faster. So I'll add one more mantra to the list: slow down to go fast. For all of our customers out there, don't miss the train though, right? Like the slowdown isn't stop what you're doing. It's make sure you're doing it with the best architecture in mind and making sure that you're thinking about governance ahead of the sprawl, right? It's doing some of those really important little things so that you can go faster along the way.
Definitely, that really helps, especially the pace, the things going at. And one thing that took my attention is the foundation, right? So you said, let's not go for these shiny big AI things. Let's make sure the foundation is strong. From that point of view, a return on investment, right? So many of the executives have to make a decision on these things based on the return on investment. So composability, integration and composability has a return on investment from a reusability or customer experience and those things. Those are more from a static workflows point of view. Now we are moving into more of a dynamic workflows with AI. Is that ROI story still for the integration stays intact, or is it changing with respect to the AI?
It's a great question, and I think it is changing. I think there's more to it, probably more than ever before, what that looks like. I think we have to look at a few different pieces. Developer productivity cannot be underscored. We're not looking at replacing developers and moving developers out of the business with agents. We want to repurpose their time for value-added activities, right? High value, doing more, right? We've always been faced with this huge constraint with IT technology and not having enough people to do the work. Now we can produce more. It shouldn't be let's do less because we have agents. It should be let's get to the more we've always been looking for. So I think it's one of the things I don't hear enough of, and I wish I heard more from my customers, is the developer productivity and the output. And all the work that we're doing, not just being a hard cost, but also looking at that cost through dollars and time. That's one I think is just hugely important. And the tools are there, right? There's more tools from AI perspective than ever before that makes our developers have so much more opportunity to develop great technology faster. So I'd love to see us focus more on some of those metrics as well. In ROI in the business, I do think we still see it, absolutely. But it is in the use case itself. And, when folks think about AI, it really does come down to the use case. We have to be able to articulate what are we trying to solve? Who are the actors in that use case? What is the outcome? And then what's the measurable component of it? That's the ROI. And looking at it use case by use case gives you that overarching then ROI. But the use case development and definition is critical. I think more so than ever before. And I've sold every cloud at Salesforce and very purpose-built applications that had very discrete ROI metrics. Now we're blurring those lines, but if we can't articulate the use case, you're not going to have a chance to have a great ROI story. We're going to miss it. That's really what I think we have to get to, especially when we start thinking about, a multi-agent experience or so many different moving parts to actually get to that end state ROI.
Okay, understood. One side is the business value for the customers. Another one is AI accelerating is the way the like you mentioned the developer productivity, right? How is some of the things what developers are doing? How AI is going to impact the professionals and developers?
Well, I want it to impact them in the best way possible. I want our developers and our professional services teams to be faster, smarter, stronger than they've ever been and get to do, forgive the term, but cooler stuff. I think this is the opportunity. My team, I'm just blown away with what they do just for fun and that they can come up with and create with all new tools that just make their job so much easier. Simple example, we've had to redefine our hiring practice and what we do for our panel to understand how our MuleSoft solution engineers, who oftentimes have a development background, how they would then build and code and source the final panel presentation. That's amazing. That's a gift. So I think, when we think about the future of development, we need to look at what it allows from a skills perspective and a growth perspective and not think of it as any sort of reduction or replacement, but truly almost like an extra hand to code with and type with, right? It's an extra arm to make you do things so much faster and better before. So I'm excited to see what this brings. I think Trailhead DX will be, is one of our more technical conferences with Salesforce and MuleSoft coming up typically in March. I think this is going to be the year of the developer. So move over admins. Like, this is our time. And I think it's going to be really exciting to see what our developers can do better than they've ever been able to do. And kind of the sky's the limit right now. So go after it. Don't go around it. Go through it.
Okay, got it. So is it like most of the tools, right? Even the tech heavy tools right now, because Salesforce is a tool where you have an admin role and a analyst role, right? Those are the bigger roles because that's no code, low code. Are all the softwares in the integration space also going to become something similar to the Salesforce kind of a roles than heavy tech roles? Do you see that trend?
I do see a trend where there's going to be an option for low code. I don't think no code will happen in integration as much as low. I know for us, we built out our Anypoint Code Builder as a much more low code, admin friendly tool where it's, a front end design that it just makes it more intuitive and easy to use without having to hard code everything. We still have our very robust Anypoint Studio for true development and depth of development, but both can exist. And I think that's what we're going to start to see in this space even more so. And I'm not going to list competitor names, but you can imagine out there in the integration space, there are others who are doing the same, right? Where they have their traditional deep development background and they'll have those applications, but many are really building those easy admin to developer, kind of skill shift to be able to do low code development. I think AI gives us our best shot at no code, but it will be due to the prompts and the work that AI can do for coding on behalf of the individual. So it won't be a no code solution, but potentially like no code development for the individual admin as they're building out an application.
As I see it from Reinforce, right, one of the cool things to take away is this MuleSoft vibes that we already talked about just now. And another one is the agent fabric. What are some of the use cases you started seeing in the field from this agent fabric, or overall, what do you see it?
Well, this is part of what made Dreamforce even more exciting for the MuleSoft family is MuleSoft Agent Fabric. We finally get to stitch all of this together, all the exciting work that AI is producing and all the agents that are out there and that sprawl that we might be worried about, especially for CIOs that are thinking about their organizations. MuleSoft can actually make the agents work together and do multi-step processes and multiple actions within one use case. And so that's what's really exciting. We did announce it right before Dreamforce. Agent Fabric will connect any of your agents across applications to do multi-agent orchestration. We can work in or outside of Salesforce, any tool, you name it. That's kind of the mantra of MuleSoft, not just me, is that agnostic approach so that your agents can work wherever they need to do the work and create that action. So Agent Fabric was what we showed on stage. It's what we showed in our booth, which was so much fun this year. We had a Build-A-Bear theme, and you could see it all come to life. And the primary use case we're showing right now, and of course we love custom demos as SEs, but the primary use case we're showing is an employee onboarding experience. So you have a new employee that joins the company, and that agent's going to go create their profile in their single sign-on application. And then they're going to go to Okta and get them, enabled for the intranet. And then we're going to go ahead, and now that we know about this individual, we're going to make sure we get their address signed up for the swag that's going to be sent to their house. And then the story goes on and on as we get them through the entire onboarding journey as a new employee at the organization. And ultimately, it's a whole ton of systems behind the scene making one employee join the company, which blows my mind, by the way, right? If we really think about how many steps happen when someone joins a company, there's all these different tasks that could traditionally be done by multiple people. Now an agent can do all of those on behalf, reaching into the back office systems, moving the data from one source to the next, and making sure we're building that true profile of the individual so that they're ready on their first day of work.
Okay. Yep. Definitely, that's a great use case. I have seen a demo of it also.
Good.
Before we wrap up here, Julia, anything I missed asking you, or any other things you are excited about, or any key takeaways for our audience?
Sure. So, what I would say, and I say this to my team too, there's never been a better time to be in this time and space in technology. Go all in, have some fun, break some glass, make things happen, try different things, identify use cases that you didn't think would be possible with, call it a chat bot before, but now we can do with an agent. This is the best time to be in the space we're in. It's the best time to be a solution engineer, if you ask me too. So do it. There's no time to wait. Go into this AI future that we're already in, right? The future is now, and embrace it, both personally and professionally. There's no better way to showcase technology than to use it personally and then extrapolate it to how you would use it professionally. So enjoy it. Go all in. That's the best way to do it.
Thank you so much, Julia. It was wonderful. I'm sure everybody got a lot of good insights from this conversation, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it, Ajay.
That's all for this episode of AI Meets API. Thanks for tuning in and being part of the conversation. Be sure to follow so you don't miss future episodes. Until next time, stay curious and stay connected.